Side note real quick. No one's going to react to Doc's audio there. We've been here 7 minutes since we showed that audio. Nobody's going to react to Doc's audio?
Do you want me to get it repeated for you?
We don't have to repeat it. We don't have to repeat it.
I can repeat it.
I've seen the trend now. I've seen the trend for years.
What's the trend?
The trend is always making excuses. Doc, we get it. Taking over a team in the middle of the season is hard. It's hard. We get it. Just like getting traded in the middle of the season is hard for a player. We get it. But it's always an excuse. It's always throwing your team under the bus.
Again, it goes back to what I said the other night. It's a matter of making the choice. And too often we have guys that don't want to make that choice. And it's pretty consistent who those guys are. And so Saturday's practice, I told the guys, it's going to be uncomfortable. The meeting is going to be uncomfortable. I'm not doing another 53 games like this because we don't care enough right now. And that's the part that bothers you a lot. We don't care enough to do the things that are necessary. We don't care enough to be a professional. Yeah, the two words of the day were effort and execution. And I feel like when we've done both of those things at a high level, we've been a good basketball team. When we haven't, we're a terrible basketball team. And tonight we were a terrible basketball team. And that started legitimately right away.
There's two things I want to touch on, right? The first one is, so he said the words of the day are what? Execution and effort. Is this the fucking kindergarten classroom where you put words on the words of the day on the fucking board that, what are we talking about here? The words of the day are effort and execute. I saw that when I used to drop my son off at school at kindergarten 2 years ago. Word of the day on the door when you walk in. You got to tell the teacher the word of the day before you can enter the classroom. Is this what we're doing here? With professional athletes that's making $30, $40, $50 million a year? That's what we're doing here? Second point. JJ, I don't know if you know this or not, bruh. Them dudes don't respect you. You are their peer. They are not, just because you have the head coach title, they don't look at you as such. And the main corporate is the guy who you just had the podcast with.
Yeah. That helped hire you.
That helped get you the job, man. Let's call a spade a spade. If they did, they'll play harder.
So after a promising start to the NBA regular season, the Lakers are now 19-10 and have lost their last 3 games straight. Not only did they lose those games, but they were blown out in each contest. And to make matters worse, Austin Reeves now has a calf strain and will miss at least 1 month of action. I've become accustomed to this as a Lakers fan throughout the years, but everybody in the media is acting like the sky is falling in Los Angeles. But we do need to remember that basketball is still being played in the month of December, and the Lakers have had a lot of injuries and are currently sitting as the 4th seed in the Western Conference. Not only is Austin Reeves out for a while, but he did already miss some games. Luka has been missing some games with his leg contusion, and of course, LeBron missed a large chunk to start the season with his sciatica. But then that gets us to their head coach, JJ Redick, and part of what I just talked about is also what worries me about Redick. Now, I personally never felt great about the decision to make this guy our head coach. But with that being said, I am on record saying that I do think he could be a solid head coach in the NBA. But when it comes to what he brings to the table, I've always felt mixed about this guy. There's some good and there's some bad, and right now I think the bad is fully on display. When things are going great, Redick looks fantastic. As the chemistry looks solid, his relationships with the players will look like they're flourishing, but when the going gets bad, JJ starts to look like a hothead. And based on how he's responding to reporters' questions and press conferences, you would think that they're on the verge of being eliminated out of the first round once again, instead of just experiencing a simple bump in the road in the early parts of the regular season. Now, is it fair to give him all of the blame? Absolutely not. But he does deserve a large portion of it, and I gotta admit, it is pretty ironic seeing him throw his players under the bus after he just ranted about a couple other coaches doing that a couple years ago. Now listen, I have to point out the pink elephant in the room. Without LeBron James on the roster, the Lakers started out this season looking very, very promising. And my comments section was filled with people saying that they were going to start losing and that their chemistry would be killed as soon as LeBron made his return. And whether you think they're right or not, that is exactly what is happening in this very moment. More so than anything, their defense is really letting them down, and the addition of a 41-year-old player obviously isn't going to help with that. But I'm honestly not that surprised as a fan, because the instant we formed a duo between LeBron James and Luka Doncic, a lot of us expected that. A lot of people are starting to realize just how much weight Anthony Davis carried on the defensive end of the court. Right now, the Lakers have the 5th worst defensive rating in the entire league. Even the 9-21 Los Angeles Clippers, who look like a dumpster fire in their own right, have a better defensive rating than these Lakers. If you ask me my opinion, this team simply isn't a championship contender. They're fool's gold. And since the day they formed, I've never thought they were ready to compete for a championship. I'm sorry, DeAndre Ayton isn't enough to address all of their issues on the interior, and he's certainly not enough to make up for their deficiencies on the perimeter. At this stage of their careers, LeBron James and Luka Doncic are just not elite defensive players. And the truth of the matter is that the chemistry just looks awful, and I do think LeBron James has played a major part in that. When we're losing game after game, the last thing I want to see is the quote leader of the team laughing it up on the other end of the court with a team that's currently blowing us out. I've been saying it for years, but as a real Lakers fan, and not someone who became a Lakers fan the instant LeBron James joined, I've been ready for quite a while to move on from the LeBron James era. And to be honest, as long as LeBron is on the roster, I think JJ Redick is horribly conflicted. When he's talking about some of the issues in approach, mindset, and lack of defense, it's hard to think that he's leaving out LeBron in those statements. But he's also being so vague, and he's not calling him out directly. And even if he did, I don't know if LeBron would respect him enough to do anything about it. But part of the reason why JJ is so conflicted is because although LeBron James is one of his players, he was also seen as one of his peers, and he technically has to be grateful to James for helping him get the job in the first place. But unfortunately, the truth of the matter is just about nothing can be done about it. I think the Lakers were ready to move on from LeBron James as early as this past offseason. But because LeBron opted in with his player option to his final year of a $52 million contract at the age of 41, the only way they could essentially get him off the roster is if the owner, Mark Walter, who certainly has the money, would simply pay out the rest of that contract. And even then, if he actually had the balls to do that, that would be a massive PR risk, seeing that the Lakers would be gaining nothing in return, but rather just getting the guy off the roster. Am I sad about what's unfolding as a Lakers fan? No, not really. Honestly, it's what I expected. Rich Paul and LeBron's camp were talking about how he wanted to finish his career before the season even started. I publicly talked about on the members' live stream that this might be a really entertaining season for the Lakers once LeBron makes a return to the lineup, and then the blame game would officially start. So yes, the Lakers are struggling, and the only thing I'm really happy about as a fan is just the fact that we got Luka Doncic to sign an extension, so at least there's hope for the future. But as far as the focus of this video, which is JJ Redick, I think he's being very humbled at this point in time, as the public perception of him has never been lower than it is in this very moment. Does he have the potential to be a great head coach in the NBA? I definitely think so, but I also think he's a very flawed head coach that sometimes is overconfident, that isn't approachable, that is sometimes too angry and doesn't know how to keep his composure in moments where it matters. The great Phil Jackson was once a head coach for us who definitely would let off some steam when he felt his team needed it. But as Shaquille O'Neal once talked about, when the leader doesn't panic, neither do the troops. And that was something that Phil Jackson very much excelled at. While JJ Redick, on the other hand, seems to be the guy throwing the biggest temper tantrum every time they experience the most minor bump in the regular season road. So what do you guys think? Is it panic time in Los Angeles? And did you ever have high expectations for them from the start? I look forward to hearing your thoughts below. Shout out to the members as always for your support, and thanks for watching as always. Make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.